Let me start recording and I'll share the screen. Right. So last week we have done all 4 conversions, like all the categories, right? And we did some questions regarding that as well, right? Now, like you can see these activities in your textbook, neither. I just want you to have this, like take a look into this particular thing, this particular activity. Now it's a very fine activity that they have given over here, like in page number 92, right? So like here what they are trying to say is, like it has the colors, right? And the representation, to represent the colors, they use hexadecimal values. And these RGBs stands for red, green, and blue. Now, in grade 11, we are going to learn a particular software called GIMP, right? So this GIMP software is a photo editing software, right? Right. So like Photoshop, we are going to learn about this in grade 11, right? Now, why I am showing this to you is, now here, like we have this component to find the find a color, like that color can be applied into many different places. Right now, in this color, can you see those letters are there, RGB, and here LCH is there, so that is for something else, the lightness, the chroma, and the hue, that is something different. So RGB anyway stands for red, green, and blue. So there are ways that the computer understand the colors. We can tell the computer colors which indicates how many red is there, how many green is there, and how many blue is there, right? Or else we can give it as a HTML notation. Now, when it comes to the HTML notation, these numbers defines hexadecimal values, right? So this is the place where you can find the hexadecimal values, right? So it says hexadecimal color notation as used in HTML and CSS. This entry also accepts CSS color names. Now, hexadecimal values, this is one application of the number systems that we learned, which is practically used inside the computer, right? Now, if you change the color, if I click on this red area, see it may cross color change in, right? Now, if I move it to the very red, see, you can see it's 100 for red, 0 for green, and 0 for blue. And you can see the HTML notation FF0000, right? So it is how the colors are represented in hexadecimal values when it comes to the computer and the applications, right? So here what they have done is they are creating this relation in between the red, green, blue values as well as with the hexadecimal values. Now, if you convert this 135, the decimal value, into hexadecimal, it's going to give you 87. That is how this is being created, right? And you are taking 31 and convert it to hexadecimal, it's going to give you 1F. So again, this hexadecimal value is representing like first two numbers are for red, and next two numbers are for green, and next two numbers are for blue, right? So that is how it represents a color inside a computer. Arts karanaකොට පින්සලෙන් අපි රතු පාටයි නේද නිල් පාටයි එකතු කරාම දම් පාට හැදෙනවනේ. right? කරන්න ඒ වගේ මික්ස් එකක්. දැන් ඔයගලන්ට පේනවා මෙතන රතු පාට වලට 135 තියෙනවා, blue වලට 120 තියෙනවා. ඒ දෙකෙන් තමයි වැඩිපුර ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. right? අපි මේක 0 කළොත් green එක 0 කරොත් ගොඩක් දීප්තිමත් දම් පාටක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. right? I just want you to show this, right? Like how these number systems are being used with the computer applications, right? So this here, it is a good clue where it used decimal number system as well as hexadecimal number system to indicate a color. Now this hashtag is used appropriately to indicate what we are writing in hexadecimal, right? එක application එකට එක change වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Got it, people? Is that clear? Like the places, about the places where we use this hexadecimal value, right? So you can go there and see what are the places in your computer that they are trying to like find the things in the number systems that we learn. Later in the internet, when you are using, when we are learning about the internet, I'll tell you like there is an address called IP address. This IP address is a collection of ones and zeros. That means binary numbers, right? So likewise, in many different ways, our computer use these number systems to represent the particular things, or like the particular components in the computer, right? Okay, so today we are going to move to learn about the data storage capacity. Now this data storage capacity is there. It is because like it's a way we understand what is the smallest bit of the computer and how that small unit help to define the new units or the bigger units. Right now, you know about the storage, right? Like if you take a CD, what is the capacity of the CD? Does anyone know what's the capacity of the CD? I think you have used many different like many number of CDs, but have you ever think about have you ever searched what is the capacity of the of a CD? Yes, anyone who knows what's the capacity of a CD? So since you are doing the ICT, it's better you know. Right, in the second lesson, I think we have talked about this, right? And how big, like up to what point that we can have the things inside the CD. Yes, any guess? Guess means like you can find it precisely. Yes, anyone? Okay, we got an answer. Let me see. Yes, 650. Yeah. So it varies up to 720 and 650. Right? Like it is from MBs, megabytes. Right? Now, if you think about a DVD, the capacity comes from gigabytes, GBs, right? So DVDs can contain 4.4 gigabytes, and if it is 2-layer DVD, that means like if you can write the data in both the surfaces, on both the surfaces, you can have double the things, right? So it's like it's going to give you like 8.9 or 9.4 as I remember, right? So these megabytes, kilobytes, gigabytes, everything starts collecting its data, or like start being created from the place which we call bit, right? So the bit කියන එක තමයි අපි computer එකේ පුංචිම capacity unit එක. පුංචිම unit එක කියලා අපි හඳුන්වන්නේ a bit. So bit represent a 1 or a 0 inside our computer, right? So when 8 bits are together, it creates 1 byte, right? So 1 byte consists of 8 bits. And there is this term called nibble, where we use to indicate some of the characters, right, which is a half of a byte, right, which means 4 bits. So once you take 4 bits together, we can call it nibble, right? So we are not very much into this unit when we are talking about the capacities, but we use bit, byte, kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, and all these things. And I'll show you what's the relationship with this when it comes to the capacities, right? Okay, let me take your whiteboard. Here we go. Yeah. Now, yeah. Now, as I told you, the smallest unit in the computer is called a bit, right? So if this is a bit, 8 of these things right? So 8 of these things will create a byte. And so this is called 1 byte, right? And we got a bit over here, right? So 1 byte equals to 8 bits. And from here after, the connection that we have depends on the fact that is called 1024. Now you know that a kilogram has 1000 grams, right? So likewise, when we are referring to the term kilo with the data unit, it is a little bit bigger than the 1000, right? So what are we saying is, we are saying 1024. I'm writing 1024 a little bit bigger manner, right? 1024 bytes equals 1 kilobyte. And later you will see 1024 kilobytes is equals to 1 megabytes, right? So from byte onwards, the units are differed from 1024 to 1024, right? So 1024 megabytes equals to 1 gigabyte. 1024 gigabytes is equal to 1 terabyte. And 1024 terabyte is equals to 1 petabyte. So all this time, right, like from byte to other numbers, all this time, it was the number 1024. So 1024 bytes will give you 1 kilobyte. So likewise, 1024 kilobytes will give you 1 megabytes. Likewise, it's going to change. Got this, people? Terunada? Yes, everyone? Yeah, PB stands for petabyte. We are going to write it in detail, Tesandu. Don't worry, don't worry. Right? Okay, now in your book, I have opened many different PDFs. Yes. So here they have illustrated to you, right? So kilobytes, it's 1024 bytes, and megabyte, it equals to 1024 kilobytes, and gigabytes, 1024 megabytes, terabytes, 1024 gigabytes, petabyte, it is 1024 terabytes, right? So it's going to be like that, and it's better you know how to convert, or like when a particular unit is given, how to convert that into another unit. Then api mathematics wala api ඔය conversions කරනවනේ නේද? Like 4 kilograms කියලා කිව්වොත්, if they ask it to do it in grams, so we know how to do that, right? Like 4 into 1000, so 4000 grams, right? If they give 8000 grams and ask like how many kilograms are there, so we are going to divide 4000 by 1000 to find how many kilograms are there, right? So likewise, we are going to find like how many bits and bytes are there when we are converting things from one unit to another, right? Here they have given you a very practical situation where we can use these things. Like now when it comes to the abbreviations, so we have to remember, we always referred with the capital letters to abbreviate that. Byte, it's a capital B. Kilobyte, it's capital KB. Megabytes, it's capital MB, likewise, right? And it is just saying the approximately the number of bytes, right? This is the exact number of bytes. You really don't need to remember that, right? And regarding the text, වචන වලින් කිව්වම, like 1 byte is like 1 text, right? And kilobyte, it's like a half a page, right? Megabyte means 500 pages. It's a big book, right? එතකොට ඔයගලන්ට තේරෙන්න පුළුවන් නේද? පිටු 500ක පොතක් අපිට book rack එකක තියන්න ගියොත් it takes some space. But if you think about the hard disk, that hard disk can like when you're comparing the space that the 500 page book and the hard disk, the space that they are taking, now hard disk is comparatively like either 1/3 or 1/4 smaller. 500 පිටු 500ක් තියෙන පොතකින් භාගයක් හරි කාලක් හරි size එකක් තමයි දැන් hard disk එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ, right? So still it is very capable of having a big capacity, because when it comes to the hard disk, we find the capacities in now what, terabytes and petabytes sometimes, right? So see, terabytes means how many pages? This is 1000, million, and 5 billion. Neither billion, neither me. Right, 1 million, 10, yeah, 500 million. Right, billion. I'm sorry. This is trillion. Is this trillion? No, it's not. It's not. This is billion. I'm not good with maths, right? Okay, and yeah, so this is 500,000 pages. So once you come here, it's 1 million, 10 million, and 50 million. Yeah. So you can have this much of pages which represent a 1 terabyte. Then apita enne one ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි normally purchase කරනකොට device එකක්, it's just 1 terabyte, right? So 1 terabyte means 500 millions, right? Which is very big, very huge. Think about 500 million pages. My God. නිකන් A4 sheets වලින් හිතුවොත් නේද? A4 sheet bundle එකක තියෙන්නේ it's 500 sheets. Right? එතකොට ඒ වගේ bundles මිලියනයක්, ලක්ෂ 10ක්. Right? It's a very huge space. Right? Okay, so that is how the capacity happens, right? So it's better we write about this a little, right? It's happy gotta make a yeah, have the heading data storage capacity. Right, data storage capacity. And yeah, then you can start writing this. Now we are going to write about these three. මේ තුන ගැන ලියාගන්න. අනිත් කට්ටිය ගාවට එනකොට අපි අපේ short form එක පාවිච්චි කරමු. Right? So you write about bit, byte and the nibble. Yes, yes, Ravidu. Yes, Ravidu. We don't need to write the paragraph, right? The data storage capacity. Then we are like writing about the bits, bytes, and the nibbles. Are we done? Udamyaduwa, you only need to write the highlighted part over here. Like we had the heading data storage capacity. Then I asked them to write these three things about bit, byte, and nibble. Right, one is done. How about others? Okay, two are done. Right. So I want you to yeah, I want you to write this. අපි මේක ලියන්න කලින් චුට්ටක් මෙන්න මේ පින්තූරේ ඇඳගමු හමින්න. Hold on. I think it's better I give that picture to you. Right. So Ravindu, yes, that's something which comes with the bits. මම කියන්න bits and bytes වලට ආපස්සේ මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා. Right. So you may draw this, right? Not this. අපිට මේ bits build up වෙන විදිහ. Right. අපි මේ hierarchy එකක් මේ මැදගමු. So it's better you write the entire word inside this. Kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, and petabyte. Right, first have this diagram, people. Then you can draw this. There is something wrong with my pen today. I'll try to figure that out. Meanwhile, you go for it. All right, 2 are done. How about others? Right. Okay, right. So seems everyone is done. Let me know if anyone is there. I'm going to shift to the lesson. Right. So yeah, I was searching whether, just a second, people, whether they are like trying to give you the conversions. It seems not. Yeah, yeah. No. All right. So now we can move to this particular point, capacities of data storage devices. Right now we get to know about the capacities. Now we are going to compare the capacities of a data storage devices. So look at this. Now you know these components neda api katha karane mewa second lesson ekedi: register memory, cache memory, compact disk, digital versatile disk, random access memory, read only memory. Like there is a way it maintains. So when you take it to a one particular picture, register memory has the smallest capacity, right? Ravindu, I'm sorry, Ravindu. Wait, I'll put it to you. Go on, go on. Complete it up. Ravindu, let me know when you are done, right? And people, I'm still, I'm saying this is again and again. If you don't get in something I'm telling, so let me know at that instance, even after that, right? Just ask me to clarify it again, right? It is the best way for you to learn. Okay. So, right, no worries. So now, when you consider the capacity of the components inside the computer, register memory is the smallest one, right? Now, do you remember where this register memory is? Now, register memory is there inside the CPU, right? මතකද අපි one Neumann architecture ගැන කතා කරනකොට කතා කරා, right? Register memory is the smallest. My God, never mind. So register memory is inside the CPU and it contains the smallest capacity so far. And then the cache memory. Cache memory stays where? Cache memory stays near to the CPU. Right? එතකොට CPU එක ඇතුලේ තමයි register memory එක හිටියේ. With whom there was a ZU control unit, there was ALU, arithmetic and logic unit, and there was these registers. Right? So cache memory stayed near to the CPU. And cache memory, you can take it from megabytes, right? Registers are from kilobytes, cache memories are from megabytes. Nowadays, the cache memories are also fixed into the CPUs. And then the compact disk, the CD, right? So CD has 650 to 900 MB. DVD, as I told you, like 4.7 to 9 GBs, and random access memory, it is starting from 1 GB and can be extended up to 64 GB, right? And read-only memories, ROMs, right? We can find ROMs in a different capacities, like more than, bigger than the 64 GB. And flash memories means the pen drives, right? ඒවට අපි ROM කියලාම කතා කරනවා මොකද ඒවා ROM type එකක්, right? So those can be found in 1 to 64 GBs. Like if you think about the flash memories, it goes beyond than that, right? 64 වලට වැඩිය වැඩි වෙන ඒවා තියෙනවා. And then the hard disk, right? Hard disk, අපි දැන් පාවිච්චි කරන normal hard disk එකක්, it is always like bigger than 250 GBs, right? Generally, we are receiving 1 TB hard disk when we are purchasing a hard disk, and we can extend it up to petabytes as well. And magnetic tapes, it is a old technology, but when it comes to the capacity level, it has the biggest capacity, right? So that is the way that the storage differs from the smallest unit to the bigger unit, right? And your book has given a nice comparison about the data access speed of these, right? So register memory is the fastest one. Cache memory is a little bit slower. Random access memory, slower than the cache. So likewise, read-only memory, flash memory. So who is the slowest? The magnetic tape is the slowest one, right? Then ඒක අපිට හිතා ගන්න පුළුවන් logically හිතුවොත් නේද? Because register memory is inside the CPU. So CPU is the fastest one in the computer, right? CPU execute more than billion instructions per second. Gigahertz වලින් එන්නේ. Gigahertz convert කරලා බැලුවම it gives like more than 1 billion instructions per second, right? So more than 1 billion කියලා කියන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝ නිකමට හිතන්නකෝ CD එකක් CD-ROM එකට දාලා rotate කරොත් එයා තප්පරයකට වට බිලියනයක් rotate කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒක ටිකක් possible නෑ CD එකකට. නේද? CD එක ඊට වැඩිය හිමින්, DVD එක ඊට වැඩිය හිමින් read කරන්නේ. It also like rotating for a several higher amount of rounds per minute. Yeah, seconds වලට ගන්න අපි RPM වලින් යමයිනේ rounds per minute, right? But still comparing to a register memory, they are quite slow, right? So who is the fastest? The register memory. Who is the slowest? The magnetic tape. And it's better you remember this order, right? Because those can be tested inside the MCQs, right? Not everything. නේද? මේකෙන් 3-4 දෙනෙක් දීලා බොහොම famous question එකක් that you are getting in the paper, like to arrange these memories according to the speed, right? Data access speed, right? So it's better you know how you are going to do that, right? Okay, then the cost per unit. Now, cost per unit, it's very funny variable when it comes to the cost per unit, right? Now register memory, we know register memory is the smallest memory. It is from kilobytes, but it has the highest cost per unit storage. මෙතන per unit storage කියලා කියන්නේ cost per bit. එක bit එකකට යන වියදම. Right? Why the register memory has the highest cost per bit? What is the reason? What would be the reason? Can you guess? Why it is the highest cost, or like the price එකෙන් වැඩිම කෙනා තමයි register memory කියන්නේ. Why it comes like that? Can anyone take a guess? Manelka, not actually because of the speed. It is because of the place where it is being situated. අපිට මෙයාව හම්බෙන්නේ කොහෙදද? තෙසඳු cost per කියලා කියන්නේ පුතේ ඒ අපි කියනවානේ දැන් සිංහලෙන් ඕක කියන්නේ bit එකකට t කියන එක තමයි per කියන එකෙන් කියන්නේ cost per bit bituවකට මුදල. Right? Udamya, very good. Because it is situated in the CPU. That is the reason. Because we can't walk into the market and just purchase a register memory. Apita register memory එකක් ගන්න ඕනේ නම් we have to purchase the CPU, because register memory is inside the CPU. CPU will cost you like 20 to 30,000, maybe more, right? So we know register memory is in kilobytes. This is in kilobytes, but this cost you around 30,000. I'm sorry, right? So kilobyte එකක් 30000 නම් byte එකක් approximately register memory වලට අදාළව ගත්තොත් නේද? 30000 1000න් බෙදන්න ඕනේ. රුපියල් 30ක් විතර වෙනවා. byte එකක්. ඒතර byte එක රුපියල් 30යි කියලා කියන්නේ නේද? bit එකක් අරගත්තොත් 34න් බෙදුවම අපි 32යි කියලා හිතුවොත් 32 4න් බෙදුවම 32 8න් බෙදුවම 4යි රුපියල් 4යි. එතකොට මෙයාගේ bit එක 4 rupees. රුපියල් 4ක් වෙනවා. Right? මම like general calculation එකක් ඕගලන්ට ඕවා calculate කරන්නේ නැහැ, right? Don't worry. Right? මට විතර පෙන්නන්න ඕන. දැන් cache memory එක අපි කියවනේ it is from MBs කියලා. Right? ඉතින් cache memory එක ඉස්සර තිබුණේ motherboard එකේ. Right? දැන් තමයි මම කිව්වේ ඒක CPU එකට embed කරලා එනවා. Like if you still think cache memory is inside the CPU, so this is the CPU cost. 30,000 is the CPU cost. So like kilobyte එකක් තියෙනකොට per bit it got 4 rupees. Now if 1 MB is value 30,000, once you divide 30,000 by 1000, approximately 1024 වලින් අපි හරියට බෙදලා බලන්න ඕනේ. 1000 වලින් බෙදුවම 30 rupees එනවා. It is for 1 MB. Right? මෙයාව මෙහෙම divide කරාම අපිට එන්නේ cost per 1 MB. 1 MB is not 1 MB, I'm sorry, 1 KB. 1 KB cost you 30 rupees. අපි මේකෙන් byte එකක් කීයද කියලා බලන්නේ. 30 කියන කෙනාව 1000 වලින් බෙදලා. එතකොට එන්නේ 100න් 3යි. 100න් 3යි කියලා කියන්නේ බොහොම නේද? 7 3ක් 3 cents තමයි byte එකක් වෙන්නේ. ඒතර bit එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ 7 3නුත් 8න් එකක්. එතකොට තේරෙනව නේද මෙයා කොච්චර පොඩි වෙනවද කියලා? නේද? සතයක්වත් වටින්නේ නැහැ. Right? It doesn't mean like cache memory is worthless, uh, right? But it's like that. The cost per bit අරගත්තම register memory එකේ bit එකක් රුපියල් 4ක් වෙනකොට cache memory එක how many? සතයක් විතර තමයි, right? මේක 4 rupees, මේක 1 cent. එතකොට මේ පහලට එනකොට ඕක තව එන්න අඩු වෙනවා. right? මොකද ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ capacities ලොකුයි. ඊට පස්සේ price එකත් අඩුයි ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ඒ මදිවට. දැන් CPU එක තමයි ගොඩක් මිල වැඩි වෙන්නේ. Random access memory එකක් ගත්තොත් if you visit to the market and ask for random access memory, you can have it for like 7 to 8,000. Right? Maximum it will be 10,000. Right? So 1 GB will be 10,000. Like in the cache memory, it was 1 MB 30,000 rupees. එක MB එකක් 30,000 රුපියල්. Random access memory එක ගත්තොත් like 1 GB memory එකක් ගන්න ගියත් 1 GB නෙවෙයි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් දැන් market එකේ තියෙන 4 GB memories, right? 4 GB and 2 GBs. So you can purchase a 4 GB for maximum 10 to 12,000. Right? So 1 GB එකක් වෙන්නේ යාගේ රුපියල් ඒකෙනුත් හතරෙන් එකක්නේ. රුපියල් 3,000ක් විතර. So 1 MB එකක් 30,000 වෙනකොට cache memory එකේ in random access memory it cost you 3,000 per 1 GB. So definitely cost is getting lower when you are coming down this hierarchy. Right? Oh yes. තෙසඳු DVD එකක් කියන්නේ ගොඩක් අඩුයි නේද? අපි DVD එකක් ගන්නේ රුපියල් 30ක් නේ 4 GB එකක් රුපියල් 30යි. Right? ඒක තමයි මේ DVD එක පහළම ඉන්න ලිස්ට් එකේ. Right? Okay, so it's a nice comparison and it's better we write this. මම මේ තුන් දෙනාම එකක් කරලා write කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා මම මේ පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්නේ. මට විනාඩියක් දෙන්න. අපි බලමු මේ තුන් දෙනා එකක් විදිහට ගන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා. Are they on the same order? නෑ නේද? ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ order එක ටිකක් වෙනස්. Yeah. Capacity එකයි මේකයි ගන්න බෑ. අපි අනිත් එක්කෙනා බලමු. මේ දෙන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි කියලා හිතනවා මට. බලන්න register cache. No, it's getting different again. No. Yes, people, you have to write it in 3 different ways. Right? Okay. So let's note it down. We only need the way that it's going to be. So capacities for data storage devices, right? So have that heading. And then you are going to copy this particular, I think me ane the kumbia yaliya yandinno නැහැ data storage එක පහළ තමයි වැඩිම උඩ තමයි අඩුම කියන එක ඉන්ඩිකේට් කරගෙන මේ කොටුව ඇතුලේ තියෙන ටික ලියා ගන්න ඕන, right? Okay, go on. You don't need the explanation, right? It is just to like take things into your mind. Oh, Tesandu, yes. Kauda. Yes, Ravindu, ROM is referred as the flash memory. Kavindu, a mulu ekame ekak read only memory, flash memory kila kyan is the same thing that they are referring to. Right? Yeah. People, if you are done with this one, go for the other two as well. Right? Can we move? Is there anyone still writing this? You may write this and indicate data access speed, how data access speed happens, and then how cost per unit storage happens, right? These two as well. Is there anyone who is copying from the screen, people? Lamai, give me a 1 second. I'll be right back. Right. Are we done, people? Did anyone try to ask a question from me? All right, one is done. How about others? Okay, so shall we move? Is there anyone still writing? Right, so I'm moving forward. We are going to talk about the coding systems. Now here people, this coding means is not what you always heard about the coding. Coding කියලා අපි අහන්නේ programming කරන එකනේ. This is not about that. This is about how the data represents inside the computer. What are the ways that they have used, right? So you know, like we discussed, these number systems are there to represent different kinds of data inside the computer. So for that, they use different kinds of coding systems as well, right? So again, it is numbers that we are using, right? But in a way, they have used these numbers, the characters inside the characters inside the number systems to represent different kind of things, right? So it's like this. We are like they are to discuss these 4 different coding systems, which is called the BCD, ASCII, EBCDIC, and Unicode, right? Now, this BCD is the oldest coding system that they use inside the computer. So what they have done is, in the olden days of the computer only used the numbers, right? So the decimal numbers, in those days, the decimal numbers from 1 to 9, right? Now, when it comes to the BCD code system, the decimal numbers from 0 to 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, why it is not allowing me to go up? 7. Oh, I don't know, for some reason, right? So up to 9, they allow us to write things in 4-bit code, right? So in BCD, these are the decimal values. And there is a code for BCD. So this is called the BCD code. So what they have done is very simple. What they're trying to do is write the 0 using 4 bits. So they represent 0 as 4 zeros. මතකද ඔයගලන්ට අපි binary එක I'm sorry hexadecimal code එකක් binary කරනකොට අපි ක්‍රමයක් පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ ඒකට ටිකක් parallel. හැබැයි එතනදී what we have done, we take a hexadecimal number and write it from 4 bits. Now here in the BCD code, we are taking the decimal number and writing it using 4 bits. So 1 is going to write 0001. 2 is going to write 0010. 3 is going to write 0011. 4 is going to write 0100. 5, they written as 0101. Right, and 6, they have used 0 1 1 0. What's happened here? තපරකින් ළමයි මම line එකේ අගටම ආවද? I don't think so. Dolabudala, just a second. My whiteboard is a little bit stuck for the moment. Yeah, Tesandu 7 is from 0 1 1 1. Yes. Something went wrong. Yeah, so let me refer it from your textbook. Textbooks got this thing. So I was writing this for you to show, right? So what they have done is this. See, they have represent a particular decimal value in 4 zeros. So likewise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is represented as 4-bit code, right? Then මේක ගොඩක් අය පටල ගන්නවා hexadecimal representation එකත් එක්ක. ඒක නිසා මම චුට්ටක් ඒක ඔයගලන්ට පෙන්නන්නම් what's the difference, right? So the difference is now when you consider the same number, අපි හිතමුකෝ same decimal value, right? If I need to represent the same decimal value from binary, octal, decimal, it is the representation anyway, hexadecimal and BCD, right? Which is going to be different from each other, right? Right. Let's see how this is going to be done. And I hope and pray my whiteboard won't troubling me again. Yeah. Yeah, the memory problem එකක් වෙලා තියෙනවා. Never mind. Right now, if I got this example, represent let's say 37 decimal value in binary, octal, hexadecimal and BCD, right? Now see the difference. Now what we are going to represent is 37. Now how we are going to represent 37 in binary? We are going to divide it by 2. So 1 and 8 will be there, 1 is remaining. We are divided by 9 again, so 0 is remaining. We are divided by 2 again, 4 and 1 is remaining. We are divided by 2 again, 2 and 0 is remaining. So 1 and 0 is remaining. So 37, this is a decimal value. In binary, what do we have? 1 0 0 1 0 1. That is the binary value. And how we are going to convert this into octal? We are going to divide by 8, right? So I'll quickly divide by 8. So like 4 and 3 is remaining, right? I'm sorry, 5 is remaining. 5 is remaining. So it is 45 in octal. And hexa, 37 divided by 16. This means 2 32යි 5ක් ඉතිරි නේද? So it is 25 in hexa. Right? Very good, Tesandu. And now, how we are going to represent in BCD? Now, BCD representation happens like this. When we are having the 37, the decimal value, right? We write 7 in 4 bits. We write 3 in 4 bits. නේද? ඔයගලන්ට මතක් වෙනවා ඇති hexadecimal එක කරපු විදිය. හැබැයි එතකොට මෙතන තිබුණේ hexadecimal value එකක්. convert කරලා අපිට උත්තරය ආවේ binary value එකක්. Right? දැන් මෙතනත් අපිට binary value එකක් තමයි උත්තරේ එන්නේ. But it is something different. මෙතන අපි decimal value එකක් BCD විදිහටයි මේ පෙන්වන්න හදන්නේ. Now 7 represents from BCD like how? Again you can use this 1 2 4 8. So how? 0 1 1 1 3 1 2 4 8. We can represent 0 0 1 1. And in BCD, when you are representing BCD, don't forget or don't leave out the leading zeros. So your BCD representation then for this is what? 0 0 1 1 0 1 1 1. This is from BCD. Got this? So 37, it is quite different to show it in BCD. Right? So each and every character of the decimal value is written using a 4-bit number. Right? So in the olden days, the values of the computer was represented like this. From 0 to 9, they had 9 different codes. So if they need to represent 37 in the computer, this was the code that they were using. Right? මේක තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ පාවිච්චි කරපු code එක. Right? Got it? Everyone? Just confirm. Okay. So from BCD, now when the computer is getting complex, right? Like when at the beginning, they had only numbers to represent, right? Then later, they had these languages. So they are integrating the letters, the operators, the symbols and all these things, right? So BCD was not sufficient. මොකද BCD code එකේ අපි පාවිච්චි කරේ bits 4යිනේ. bits 4කින් අපිට පෙන්වන්න පුළුවන් ප්‍රමාණය වෙන්නේ it's from 0 to 15. Right? That means 16 different characters can be represented. But when the number of characters, now if you take your keyboard and see how many characters are there, it is nearly 100, like it's passing 100, right? So if you want to represent 100 different characters, definitely 4 bits are not sufficient, because using 4 bits, we can write the combination, the different kinds of combination like into 15, right? Combinations එකිනෙකට වෙනස් 15ක් ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන් අපිට, right? So yeah, රාවින්දු පුතේ ඔයා පොඩ්ඩක් වීඩියෝ එක රිෆර් කරනවාද? ටිකක් අපි කතා කරා BCD ගැන. What was the place, Ravindu, you were missing? All right, Ravidu, මම මේක ලියන හැටි ඔයාලට පෙන්නන්නම්. Now this is the decimal value you are asked to write in BCD. So what you are going to do is take one particular value and write it using 4 bits. Right? So the place values they contains, like we know, 1, 2, 4, 8. And so 7 will be written in 4 bits, as well as 3 is written in 4 bits. Oh, I'm sorry. So later, we take those 8 bits and give the combination to represent the 37. Right? එතකොට 37 represent කරන්න කියලා කිව්වම රවිදු, we write 0010, I'm sorry, 0011 for the 3 and 0111 for 7. Right? So we write it. I'll show you. Again, I think whiteboard off unane. Right? Yeah, this is the way we use. See? Now this is the BCD representation. So it is 0011. This is to represent 3. It is 0111. This is to represent 7. So 37 in decimal is represent like this BCD. So we have to write BCD at the end to indicate this is a BCD value, not a binary one. Got it? Ravindu, clear? Right. Then later, when the number of characters are improved or increased, computer scientists have to find another coding system. Then bit 4ක් විතරක් මදි. 4කින් පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ different characters 16යි පෙන්න ගන්න. So what they have done is they have introduced a code called ASCII, American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Right? So ASCII code contains 7 bits. So previously what happens? In BCD, they got only 4 bits to represent a character. Right? Now they have introduced something called ASCII. Now ASCII is using 7 bits. To represent a character. Again, the same number 37 is going to written, 3 is going to be written using 7 bits and 7 is going to written using 7 bits. Again, 37 කියන කෙනාම, if we try to represent in ASCII, 3 is written like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is going to be 3. And 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is 7. Right? Earlier this was in 4 bits. Now this is in 7 bits. So place values are coming like how? 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 128. Right? මේගොල්ලන්ගේ place values එහෙම එන්නේ. So the value that they can represent was greater. Right? So එතකොට numbers ටිකට පුළුවන් අරගන්න ඊළඟට අකුරු ටිකට අරගන්න පුළුවන් capital letters simple letters right exclamation marks right all characters so like 128 different characters can be represented using this particular 7 bits right but our code is getting longer earlier it was represent a character was represented by 4 bits now it is representing using 7 bits right earlier we need only 8 bits to represent 37 in BCD now we need 14 bits මෙතන 7 bits තියෙනවා මෙතනත් 7 bits තියෙනවා now we need 14 bits to represent 37 and still it is necessary because our number of characters which is using inside the computer is getting increased so we can't change that we have to have unique code for each and every character ඔයගලගේ keyboard එක දිහා බැලුවොත් keyboard එකේ තියෙන හැම key එකකම තියෙන හැම character එකක්ම represent කරන්න different එකිනෙකාගෙන් වෙනස් code එකක් ඕන right so they made this ASCII code later what was happening with the development of the computer referred with many other different components they integrated with the different languages right nowadays තෙසඳු මේකේ අපිට ලියන්න වෙනවා තෙසඳු right තෙසඳු අහන්නේ මේ leading zeros ටික ලියනවද කියන එක for this representation we have to in BCD in ASCII we write those things because that particular space is given ඒක මකල අයින් කරන්නේ නැහැ computer එක ඇතුළේදී ඒ space එකත් allocate කරලා තමයි එන්නේ ඉතින් ඔයාට එක represent කරන්නත් 0.6කුයි එකේ ඉලක්කමයි ඕනේ 127 represent කරනකොට මෙතන I'm sorry මම මෙතන වැරදි අගයක් ලියලා තියෙන 32කට පස්සේ 64 එන්න ඕනේ 64 it's going to be so if you are representing 1 you have to represent it like this you have to represent it like this you can't omit the zeros if you are representing 127 it's going to be like this තෙසඳු තෙසඳු මට ක්ලියර් නෑ පුතේ ඔයා අහන එක දැන් 432 දුන්නොත් තෙසඳු ක්ලියර් නෑ පුතේ අහන එක මට ප්‍රශ්නේ පැහැදිලි නෑ right hari අපි චුට්ටක් ඉස්සරහට යන් තෙසඳු මගෙන් හිමින්සරේ ප්‍රශ්නේ අහන්න right so later what is happening then keyboard එකේ තියෙන ටික manage කරගන්න පුළුවන් වුණා so keyboard has the English letters some other keys right which is from English so later computer was dealing with several different languages right කියන්නේ මේ සිංහල එන්න කලින් කියන්නේ ගොඩාක් languages introduce වෙන්න කලින් මම මේ කියන්නේ like some of the languages especially the Chinese right so when they are in the game we have to like they have to have more codes to represent characters in a different manner like then ඉංග්‍රීසි හෝඩියේ අකුරු ටිකයි characters ටිකයි දාගන්න bits combinations 128ක් ඇති වුණාට Chinese අකුරු ටික දාගන්න they needed more so what they have to do is they have to extend this particular code so they create something called EBCDIC extended binary code interchange code expanded binary decimal interchange code right hold on people did I Yeah, extended binary coded decimal interchange code, EBCDIC, right? So there, what they have done is they use 8 bits to represent a particular character. Then code එක තව ටිකක් big වෙනවා. Right? එතකොට මේ දුන්නේ ASCII වලින්. So now if you are going to represent the same number 37, now this is going to be written in 8 bits. Right? Yeah. තෙසඳු ඕ පුතේ ඔයා කියන එක හරි 432 දුන්නොත් 0.21ක් පාවිච්චි කරන්න වෙනවා. ඔව් 7 3ක් නේ. Yes, you have to write it. හරි. ඔයා අපේක දැන් තේරුණා මට. Right? It is. හරි එහෙම ලොකුවට දුන්නොත් ඒක ඒ විදිහට පාවිච්චි කරන්න වෙනවා. That is how the coding system was, right? So now here they are using 8 bits. So 6 zeros and 1 1 to represent 3. And to represent 7, 5 zeros, 1 1 and a 1. Right? So the entire code for 37, it is 16 bit. Right? But using this, we could represent 256 different characters. එකිනෙකට වෙනස් characters 256ක් අපිට represent කරන්න පුළුවන් වුණා. If you think about today, the present day, how many languages that we are using inside the computer? නිකන් හිතලා බලලා තියෙනවද? Right? So like yeah, Ravindu 237 නාවොත් 2 කියන එක්කෙනා bits 7කින් ලියන්න ඕනේ, 3 කියන එක්කෙනා bits 7කින් ලියන්න ඕනේ, 7 කියන එක්කෙනා bits 7කින් ලියන්න ඕනේ. It's not the 237 the entire number representing from 7 bits පුතා. For each and every character we write a 7-bit code. දැන් මම මේ 37 represent කරලා තියෙන්නේ. Right? So if you are saying 237, this 2 is going to be written by another 7 bits. තේරුණාද පුතේ? For each and every character you are using a 7-bit code. Right? මේ අද දවසට පාවිච්චි කරන characters ටික ගැන පෙන්නලා කතා කරලා අපි ඉවර කරගමු session එක. Now in your computer you can see what are the languages that we use. Language settings. Oh. So if I go to add language, this is the language list that we have, right? And now a lot of languages are based on the English letters. Language එක වෙනස් වුණාට English letters එක base වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. But if you go from the beginning, now English letters are there. The Amharic, there is a font called Amharic, right? Amharic letters තියෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ Arabic letters තියෙනවා. Arabic letters ඒ set එකම එක විදිහයි. So 3 languages, huh? So later we'll find in see Armenian, right? Then Assamese, right? And Azerbaijanian, right? And Hindi, right? ඔය විදිහට ඔයගොල්ලෝ බැලුවොත් characters එකිනෙකට වෙනස් characters තියෙන languages තියෙනවා 100කට වැඩිය. Right? Chinese අකුරු වගේ ඒවා තියෙනවා, Arabic අකුරු වගේ ඒවා තියෙනවා. Right? සිංහල තියෙනවා, අපේ එක වෙනස් එකක්. Right? English base ඒවා තමයි ගොඩක් තියෙන්නේ. Right? But when it comes to the character types, there are many different characters. මේ මෙතන තියෙන PO හින්දි මේ Hebrew එක වෙනස්. Right? මේ Gujarati ලියලා තියෙන විදිහ. It is different and Greek different. Right? So there are many different. So the requirement is huge. So for that purpose, they finally introduced a code system called Unicode. Now that Unicode contains, or like Unicode use 16 bits. Count කරලා බලන්න වෙනවා මැත්තේ සඳු. එතන count එකක් දෙන්නේ නැහැ පුතේ. Right? 16 bits code. The 16-bit code එකකින් අපිට characters 65,000 plus ප්‍රමාණයක් represent කරගන්න පුළුවන්. So and again Unicode එක grow කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් Unicode එක මේ 16-bit වලට වැඩිය ලොකුයි. Right? So Unicode is the latest කියලා කියන්නේ අන්තිමටම හඳුන්වලා දුන්නේ. latestම කියලා කියන්න බෑ. ඒක ළඟදී නෙවෙයි හඳුන්වලා දෙන්නේ. It was introduced many years back, like 10 to 15 years back, right? But you can represent 65,000 odd characters from the Unicode system, right? So those are the coding systems that we have. And yeah, so with those coding systems, our lesson is going to come to an end, right? මේ පහළට තියෙන coding system එක ගැනම තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ අර ලොකු මේ එකක් එහෙම දාලා පෙන්නලා තියෙන්නේ. So like next week we are going to write the things regarding the coding system, and we are going to start the fourth lesson, the logic gates, right? So be prepared, right? I'll give you the note regarding this, what to be written. Then we can go for the fourth lesson, right? Okay, so I hope you will you had the idea about the coding systems today. So we'll meet next week and write the things. So thank you very much for today, people. Have a nice weekend. I'll see you for the same time on next Saturday, right? Thank you very much. Right, okay, Dinalka, thank you. Right, Udamya, thank you, Dua.